Hey, this is Big Chief from the Bourbon Road, and I'm live from Jeff the Ben Farm here in Shelbyville, Kentucky. And this is Bar Night with Big Chief. I got some guests on tonight. I got Adam, I got Abby, and I got Jordan. And we might have some extra people join us tonight, but I just wanted to hang out with my roadies. We're on YouTube Live. We're on Facebook Live. We're going to drink a little bit of bourbon. We're going to talk about bourbon. Talk about whiskey. We're going to talk about the Bourbon Road's day to day, Big Chief's day to day, because it was definitely a whiskey day. Everything from bourbon balls to meeting with distillery folks to interviewing distillery folks. Just had a great day, and then had dinner with another social media bourbon group. So it was a great day. Hopefully you're joining us live. You definitely will be. And I know we already got 12 people on watching this and stuff. So you never can tell what Big Chief's going to give away, right? And I'm going to give away some bourbon tonight. I'll give away some bourbon samples. So, yeah. So without further ado, like I said, I have Adam, I got Abby on, and I got Jordan. They are all bourbon roadies from the start. They listen to the podcast. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Good. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
It's a night. So let me tell you guys about Big Chief's day to day, right? So Matt King yesterday or last night around about 8 o'clock texted me and says, "Hey man, I'm coming up to Kentucky to meet with Ashley Barnes. Or Monica Wolf, and they were going to go do some stuff." So they did that. They said, "Hey, would you like to have lunch?" So Matt King, for everybody, that is who I call Forrest Gump from Leaper's Fork Distillery down in Tennessee. He's a great guy, and lo and behold, he brought me a special bottle of bourbon that nobody else has right now. I don't know. I don't think anybody has it. It hasn't been released yet. Seldom Seen Farms. How you guys doing out there? Love your maple syrup on pancakes. It's amazing. I got Dan Price. His wife actually works for me and stuff. She's mean. She probably whoop me. I don't know. She's tough. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you what happens when you see Matt King says, "What's up?" I gotta show you the surprise I got. Now everybody knows I'm the self-proclaimed Weeded King in Kentucky. I love weeded bourbon. If you come to my house, you will see that I've got a plethora of weeded whiskey and weeded bourbons. I posted some photos. I probably have around 50 or 60 different expressions of weeded bourbon and weeded whiskey. I don't know. I just love it. So anytime I can get a chance to get something new, I like to taste it. I get very excited when somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to make a weeded bourbon." Or if you hear on a podcast, if somebody doesn't have it or they're thinking about making it, I can get a hint of it. Like when we went to Michter's and toured their facility, I said, they're showing us their grain bins, and they're like, "This is our corn grain bin, and this is our rye wheat bin, and this is where we put our malted barley." And I was like, "All right, so where are you going to fit that wheat bin?" And they all looked at me like, "What?"
I think almost every distillery you've been to, you ask them, "When are you going to make a wheat? Are you going to make a wheater?"
Yeah, I mean, even Wild Turkey needs one. So Daniel says she still beats me all the time.
Yeah. By the way, Matt is on tonight, Big Chief.
I saw that, Matt. Matt, are you still in the dually driving? Let me know. So this is what I got right here. Okay. I'm gonna raise this up for everybody to see. You want to raise this up? Look at that crown. Now look who's in that crown. Look at that piece of wheat hanging out. Does everybody see that right there? That says the Weeded King of Kentucky. This is a special release right here. You're not going to say cast strength because I always say, "Hey, that tastes better cast strength." The Bourbon Road. This is from Leaper's Fork. This is a weeded bourbon. It is from barrel number 76. And you should see this sometime, I think, in June. I'm going to open this and try it live tonight. Matt, you better hope this is good.
I still wish they would leave your picture on it when they release it. That's my only ask.
I don't think Matt can do it. I don't think Lee will let me have my picture on a bottle of bourbon.
We gotta try at least in Louisville.
Right.
I know a few people that'll buy it in Louisville.
Just a couple, yeah.
Just
a couple.
few.
A couple people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got that today. So I met with those guys, and I told them we actually ate at a place called TT's Tacos and Tortoise over in Frankfort, Kentucky. If you're over there and you like tacos, their tacos are $2.50 each. Well worth the stop. I would give them a 5-star. Great meal. Matt was sweating, but he said he sweat from ketchup, so who knows? Who knows what he does? He was sweating. I almost shaved his beard right there with a little plastic knife they gave me because he was sweating. But great taco shop. I was so glad to meet the Leapers Fork team. It makes me feel pretty cool. I get to sit down with. I'm just a regular dude, and I'm getting to sit down with these bourbon guys and gals and eat lunch. And I felt honored that they took time to meet with me and then bring me a bottle of that. So. Matt, thanks for bringing that up here and letting me taste it. This is the first bottle I assume that's in Kentucky. We're going to try it tonight. So then I headed over to Rebecca Ruth's because it was right down the road, right? So I had to stop and get my honey some bourbon balls from there. She's been out of town. She just got back. So I made sure that she got her some bourbon balls, which I was excited about. So what are we drinking tonight? Adam, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a little Deceptivus from, I believe, out in Washington State at Caddy Distillery.
Caddy.
I will butcher that every time. Inevitable. Before this, I went up to Sarah and I said, how do you think I'm supposed to pronounce this? I can't remember, but it's fantastic stuff. So Deceptivus, definitely all the way.
Yeah, that's super cool. That distillery. I know COVID had hit that distillery pretty hard, and it was hard on them and stuff. Hopefully, they make it out of it. But if you haven't checked out the dude's videos, you got to go check his videos out. Hilarious. He pops up out of a pond, throws his hair back, and he might even be playing a bagpipe for all I know. Shit.
I mean, anyone with long hair has at one point in their life dreamt of doing that, so I can definitely appreciate that.
Now, Abby, what are you drinking on?
I actually have little lead slingers going here.
Lead slingers.
Nice.
Now are they out of Oklahoma? Is that where they're out of?
I believe so. I believe that was Oklahoma. It's all just a bunch of Army guys, a bunch of service veterans, and they got together. It's very young bourbon, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think I'm almost positive that's out of near OKC.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd looked into them visiting that distillery if I could go out there and get on with those guys. Even though they're young, we like to, whether you're young, whether you're old, whatever you're doing, you got to appreciate whiskey for what it is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Whatever stage it's at, if moonshine's moonshine. So, Jordan, what are you drinking, man?
I've got some of the 95 proof Pinhook Bohemian. So
all right,
got that, and then I've got some of the Bohemian, the high proof. I think it's 114.5 to follow it up with. So
that's
all right. Well, so what I'm drinking tonight, and what we're going to discuss a little bit, is I'm actually drinking right now in my glass. I got a little bit of. Now, don't worry, Big Chief's got a couple more bottles of these stoked away somewhere. Don't worry about me a little bit, but if I got a couple bottles of these, and actually, I got this little buddy down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that said he'd find me some bottles if I needed them. So, so the deal with Rebel Yell 10-year. Here's the deal with Rebel Yell. They took the Yell off there, and you can only get it as Rebel now, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah, those bottles are actually making it to the market now. They're already out on shelves in various places. So.
They are making it to the market. The regular Rebel Yell stuff is already Rebel. And I seen 2 of the bottles today, and the juice actually looked lighter too in the bottle beside each other. So I don't know what's going on there. But that was the 80 proof, I think, the regular Rebel Yell juice. I bought a bottle of the Rebel Yell 80 just because I wanted to have a bottle, and it was like $13. So I would suggest if you want to see it, if you like that stuff, you might want to go ahead and buy a bottle now. Because what's going to happen when MGP gets in there and says, where it says Kentucky straight bourbon on here, it might not say that anymore. It might say Indiana on there. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but this one actually says distilled and aged in Kentucky. So what's going to happen with MGP now that they own it? You guys, what do you guys think about that?
I always wondered about that. I wondered if they were just trying to make their way into the market by being able to have a bourbon that was labeled, distilled and bottled in Kentucky, and that relationship with Heaven Hill, that everybody kind of knows about would continue between, the regular Rebel release or Rebel Yell release, or whether suddenly MGP was going to start using their wheated whiskeys for it, because they do. They have a line of wheated whiskeys that we see in other distilleries using and sourcing out for their products. So I'm kind of curious what will happen with Rebel itself now that they own it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a brand that they're going to get rid of. I think it would hurt them. But they got brands there now, and it would be wise, I think, to nurture those browns into something. Not enough people know about Rebel Yell 10-year.
Right.
And it's only
find me a bottle of it.
It's only 100 proof, but I'll tell you, it's some good whiskey right now. I don't know who that is, Adam. It said they're drinking now. Rebel 10 is allocated in Tennessee. I hate to tell you, it's allocated in Kentucky too.
But if you drive about 40 minutes south into Georgia, it's not quite as allocated.
People, Georgians can't figure it out yet. I see somebody else was drinking Foregate tonight. I saw somebody else is drinking Wilderness Trail. That's Ralph Burgess. Ralph, come on, man. Let's see you drink something else. No, he's drinking.
As long as he's drinking our pick, do not complain.
I was going to say, when it's that good, like it's hard to stray from that. I get it.
Right. I love some Wilderness Trail.
Yeah, it is. I was actually talking about that a little bit today. So that's what's in my glass. I'll be sipping on that tonight, and then I'm gonna open up the Leaper's Fork whiskey, and then I'm gonna switch over to this bottle right here that I just found. This is an Old Forester single barrel. It is 128.3 proof. It is MTS Kentucky Exclusive 001.
Ooh, oh,
wow.
I don't even know what that means, but.
It's 001. That's all that matters.
I'm pretty sure that was their first release, Big Chief. If I'm correct, that was their first release of the single barrel line at Barrel Proof.
I think it was the first public release. Me and Jim talked about that because the first barrels of that are bottles. And I'd have to go back and look at the post and the photo we took. But those bottles that we got actually had Mr. Brown's name on it. So that was his pick. So that was something kind of cool, right? The Bourbon Lens is on here with us. Our friends over there, Scott, Jake, and Mike at the Bourbon Lens. Guys, what is up? I love me some Bourbon Lens. If you were out there, you're a listener of the Bourbon Road, we had them on an episode with us, collaboration. Some awesome guys. Scott is a bottled and bond king. He's probably right behind old Bernie Lovers as far as bottled and bond goes. Jake's the money man, and then they both got kids, and then Mike is the he don't have any kids. He's married, but he don't have no kids, so you don't know that experience yet. Having a struggle is real when you have kids. So let me finish my day up, right? So I go get some bourbon balls, and then I haul ass back all the way back to Simpsonville. Pick up Jim, and then we raced to Evan Williams Experience. Got there around 2:30. Was met at the door by their the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience. Andy down there, great job of introducing us and stuff. We got down there and we set up inside their speakeasy. If you haven't did that, if you're not an Evan Williams person, you still try it out and stuff. The Evan Williams Experience down there, their speakeasy, pretty cool. A lot of history down there of Evan Williams. And if you don't know about Evan Williams, look the guy up and stuff. He was the first guy to sell and distill whiskey there in Louisville, Kentucky. So that episode is going to be coming up in a couple weeks, about 3 weeks, because we're a little bit ahead right now. We're racing to get more episodes. So we sit down with Bernie and Jody from there. He makes 1 barrel of whiskey a day there at Evan Williams, and had, I'm going to tell you, it was just amazing episode. I think it'll be our number one episode of all time just because it was that good. Those two flowed good with us. We're all about the same age. Great questions, great answers. Some just amazing answers from Bernie. Some great music from Bernie. We had a great time. So yeah. So that was my day to then. So so what have you? Let me ask you three, and listeners out there, or watchers, I guess now. Are you watchers? I don't really know.
Depends how you consume it.
Yeah. So, has there been any special bottles lately that you've been drinking on?
I was lucky enough to pick up one of the Garrison Brothers Balmorea bottles a couple weeks ago, so I've been kind of nursing that one a little bit more than I should. But that's been my kind of go-to here lately for special bottles.
Yeah, I think for me, Chief, is the Parker's Heritage, the 10-year heavy char. That one, it just hit home for both Sarah and I. We both kind of go back to that bottle more frequently than we would on some of the other ones that we spent a little bit more on. That one's got kind of this espresso and coffee in the final of it, and that hits home for me.
I'm actually gonna have to go back to when I visited your place. Got to try the balcones there finally, and that's been quite a favorite. Grabbed a New Era bottle right now, so I've got that has come back again. That's my third bottle recently, and it's just Texas bourbon. I don't know if it gets the credit it deserves just yet.
It's coming. It's definitely coming. If you look behind me, I have a great relationship with Balcones. I actually talked to them today on the road, texted them, and my old Big Chief's probably get another bottle from those guys to try out.
There you go.
If you could have Balcones send a few extra bottles of that pot still weeded with that shipment, that would be great. Because I'm down to about this much.
So we'll have to get you back out here. So I don't know if you've seen this out or not, but this is Balcones lineage. This is a single malt whiskey from them.
Oh wow,
pretty rare. So I got that. I love it.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that. I did give. I did find when I was back in Chicago. One of my friends found the deconstructed that they'd made with the special bottle, and that is a gift giving item for sure.
Yeah, I think that's how my whiskey day. I said I was going to have a whiskey day today. It has definitely been a whiskey day. Emails just popping up left and right and stuff. So me and Jim did that whole episode. We wrapped our gear up. We got a Evan Williams cookie is what we got, and then we jetted on out there. We tried to stop by Old Carter because they now have a store in Louisville, but right now they're out in California and they're closed downtown. So we kind of missed that.
Is that store right next door to Justin's House of Bourbon in Louisville, downtown Louisville location?
It is right next door. It's not boarded up, but there's windows are covered and stuff. Mm-hmm. Trust me, once you walk in there, you think reason why they're covered up. So I won't go into any more detail about Old Carter's store there. So then we saw a post that Barstools and Bourbon, Lahana, like a little sister. I saw that Ralph sent some message and showed us their live, and we saw they were at Rabbit Hole doing a show. So me and Jim tried to beat down the door of that Rabbit Hole and get in, but they wouldn't let us in. So then I Facebook called Lahana, and she thought I was somebody else, but she answered. And I told her I was meeting her. I said, "Where are you at?" She's like, "I'm at Doc Crow's." And I was like, "We're coming over there." She thought I was another Mike. So she.
I think you have to start introducing yourself as the Weeded King of Kentucky, because there's only one of those.
There is. Well, Bill Samuels, he's got me beat. And if Weller was still alive, he'd have me beat. But right now, I'd say I'm the youngest Weeded King of Kentucky. So we went over to Doc Crow's. If you read my latest article last week, you'd see that I named Doc Crow's one of my favorite restaurants downtown to eat at. They've got good burgers, they've got some good seafood, and they got barbecue, and they got a great whiskey bar. We had dinner with her and her gang of her husband and a couple other friends, and so then the manager come up to us and asked me. They have a pick, so you can go into Doc Crow's and they have a on-premises liquor license where they can sell picks. And they have about 6 picks in there, and lo and behold, they had a weeded bourbon in there, and good Lord, I couldn't pass it up. And Jim tried to talk me out of it. Jim was like, "Hey, I don't know." He's like, "That thing's got some bad stuff said about it or something." It's a limestone. It's the red weeded bourbon. And then the manager came out and told me all about it, what he thought. And I was like, "Well, I feel like I made a good choice there." Stuff. The thing is, we're fixing to go down to Limestone and do an episode with Steve Beam, and probably could have got a bottle down there, but a store pick to me, and it's weeded bourbon. Great bottle.
You got something to compare now, Chief. So when you go down and do your visit, you already kind of have an idea in your head.
They might not have any of it. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If they run out.
That's good. I mean,
it's limestone, so they might not have any, and I get worried about that if because I passed on weeded bourbon before, and I kick myself every time I do it. I'm like, I wish I'd have bought that. God dang it! But we get so much free bourbon that you hate to buy it. But he talked me into an Eagle Rare store pick too, and I bought that. But in the meantime, Doc Crow's right next door has Doc Crow's. I guess it's Doc Crow's bar, bourbon bar, and they are on their way to having over 3,800 bourbons in that bar.
Wow. Now, is this an extension of their restaurant? Did they expand? Is that what happened?
It's
been about a year.
Not an extension.
It's its own separate bourbon bar. They might have some small snacks or something you can get in there, but it's mainly about the bourbon. 3,800 bourbons. Now, there's one other place that beats them out right now, and apparently they sold off some of their bourbon. So they believe that they're going to be the number one bourbon bar with the most bourbon on the face of the earth. 3,800 bottles. That's just ridiculous.
That's more than your place.
Yeah, I can't even imagine having 3,800 bottles. Let's put that into barrels, right? So an average barrel has 200, if it's cast strength, has about 200 bottles in it right there. So you do the math. That's a whole
190.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of whiskey, right?
Yeah.
Man, I can't even imagine. So there was a reason I named Doc Crow's one of 3 restaurants to go to, and I'm glad. But we're going to go there and do a show at that bourbon bar when they open back up, and they have the most in the other restaurant I think is Jack Rose's in outside of DC or inside DC. So yeah. Is that their small barrel experimental? That is Bourbon Lens. That bottle I bought of Limestone is their small barrel. Hopefully it's good. I haven't opened it yet. I forgot to get out of the truck to bring it down here because I probably would have cracked it open. Speaking of that, we're going to have a new T-shirt coming out, and it's going to be about opening your bottles because we hate seeing those people that just collect bourbon. Don't take and just buy stuff and put it up on shelf like I got up here. But those bottles eventually get drank. I guarantee it. I got some extra bottles laying around, like a 12-year Weller. I got a whole bunch of special reserve laying around, a couple bottles of antique laying around. But all my bourbon will get open in due time. It's not a collection at all.
It needs to be open and it needs to be shared with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Most definitely. So look for that T-shirt coming. Jim told me about it tonight. I love the idea. It'll make people think a little bit. So yeah. So that was our Doc Crow's experience. We went there and had dinner with Lana and stuff. And that was kind of my whiskey day today. A crazy whiskey day with Big Chief and Jim. Pretty good, I think. The only thing I didn't stop and see Todd Ritter over in Frankfurt. Todd, sorry about that. I don't know if you know about TTs. Todd, do you know about it? We'll see if he tops something up there for me. Yeah, Ralph, remember Lahana had plenty to drink at Rabbit Hole. Anybody?
Maybe that's
a nice way.
No, the
That's
mic
a nice way of putting it.
I will tell you, Lahana was feeling no pain. Definitely, Ralph, you're right. She had plenty to drink and stuff. So yeah, so you can see what I'm wearing. This is the original Bourbon Bullshitter T-shirt. If you don't have one, you need to get one. We want to see these in distilleries. We want to see you out there on the Bourbon Trail, the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, wherever you live. If you live in Japan, if you live out there in Australia, wherever you live in India, live in Scotland. Hell, I'd like to see this in Scotland.
We've got one in Australia. So
yeah. I want to see these out there. People wearing them and stuff. I love that. So make sure you buy these. This is how me and Jim are supporting the podcast. We talked about this last deal, and I won't go too far into it, but this is keeping us off Patreon right here and keeping us in the Bourbon Roadies. If you want that, see that, please buy yourself one. They are unisex, meaning a man or a woman or whatever you consider yourself. You can.
They are very comfy too. I can personally attest to it, and I think I've gotten more compliments and comments on that in grocery stores actually than anything else. And people are just like, I love that shirt. Like, where'd you get it? And I'm like, hey, here's this link. I'll got you.
Yeah. Man, we appreciate it. Tell people about the Bourbon Road. When I run into somebody and they said, somebody says, I listen to podcasts and I'll be in a liquor store and I'll say, hey, what's your favorite podcast? And one of the first things they say is the Bourbon Road. I love Jim and Mike. And behind that mask, I'm like, man, this make me tear up a little bit here.
Just you got to remind people not to write Bourbon Bullshitter on Facebook.
Yeah, don't write Bourbon Bullshitter on there because Facebook doesn't like that. Hey, whatever. Because those guys over there in Silicon Valley, they're drinking White Claw.
So wear it on your shirt. Don't type it in your social media.
Yeah,
you've been advised.
So people are asking right now, how do I get to that link? So you go to the bourbonroad.com. You click on shop, and you'll see our sexy model that we got.
It's a very tantalizing model. I can understand.
Yeah. So buy the shirt. You can also pick up our glass on there, thebourbonroad.com. We are trying to work it to get those a little darker and stuff. But these glasses are delicate, and we don't want to have a printed on glass. We want to have the etched one. So that's what our glass is all about. I like them. They work for me for my camera shots and stuff. So somebody else asked me else asked me about my whiskey shots. I'm gonna tell everybody it's on live right now. No, I do not drink that much whiskey every day. There's
sometimes at 9 a.m. and 6 a.m. and
so if I drive by something, if you catch me out somewhere in my truck at probably all times, there's usually, unless it's summertime, I usually have yes, Daniel, the sexy model is me.
I mean, they really should go to the website to appreciate
the
model. Yeah,
right, absolutely.
So I usually have two bottles in my pickup at all times and some glasses, just in case I see a shot that I want to take or something that I like, or in my eye I think, man, this is going to be a great shot, or it's going to be a great story. I always like to add something to it. Like today's shot was he said he's out. So here's the thing is, I want to put something extra to it, something you don't know. Adam said he'd been here several times a year, and he didn't even know there was a Coast Guard station here since 1881.
I've walked right by that Coast Guard station for years.
It is actually the offices of the Bell of Louisville now, but they've kept it up. It is a historical station. It's because of the Falls of the Ohio. Another thing I talked about somebody said they didn't know there was that much Coast Guard here. Todd did. And there's been Coast Guard here for a long time, but in 1937, a major flood hit the United States in the Western rivers, and the Coast Guard came in and had to help a lot of people out. So that's what the Coast Guard is doing here. People always ask me, "Hey, what's the Coast Guard doing here?" There's no water. Well, there's a giant damn river down there, and without that river, a lot of this bourbon that you're drinking today, you wouldn't be able to get it. Let me put it on this perspective, right? And you'll hear this in the episode. Bernie Lubbers told us in 2005, the entire bourbon, all the distilleries put together, were putting out 400,000 barrels per year. That's every distillery in Kentucky. Heaven Hill this year put out 400,000 barrels of whiskey themselves. That's some
incredible numbers
right there.
They are definitely the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that is monstrous. I don't know if you know that. You want to listen to that episode? I'm telling you how good it is. You can hear all kinds of bottled bond bottles. How many bottled bonds are out there and stuff. Great. So yeah, river that borders 2 states. I don't know what you're talking about, Scott, because most of the rivers here do border 2 states. Yeah, I mean, Jim had a great. We had a great conversation about barges today on the way out there and talking about how barges work and stuff. Because there's a company out there that's actually putting whiskey on a barge right now. I think it's OH Ingram. But for all you river people out there, hopefully we got some river people listening. Ingram Barge Lines is a monster in the river system, towboat company. And his family owns that. And so they're putting whiskey on the barge. And I listened to an episode with another podcast out there. They did it with him. And I was super interested enough to where I'm going to reach out to him. We'll try to have him on the show and talk about it because I do know about barges. I know about the river system, and I'm super intrigued now of how that barge is affecting that whiskey. So Travis, I just want to say hello to a couple people real fast. So I got Travis on here. If you don't use that link that's in the deal, I can't see who you are. Adam probably knows who's saying what. Yep. That must mean BT is up at least 3 or 4K. I don't know what that's all.
Jerry Hamilton. Buffalo Trace is up to at least 3 or 4. I think he probably means million.
400,000 probably. Yeah, they're right there, but they're not producing. Buffalo Trace is not producing as much as Heaven Hill is. I guarantee you that.
Heaven Hill across that family of brands is ridiculous. You look at it, and it seems like every time you look at it, they add another brand on there.
Yeah, they buy up brands. You know, you got JW Dant, you got JTS Brown, you got TW Samuels, you got Bernheim. I could just keep going. The Heaven Hill brands themselves, Elijah Craig, Evan Williams. We could just keep trucking on down.
And then their yearly releases, their special edition yearly releases that they add on top of all of that.
And Jim is on here right now. I can tell you because I saw the Bourbon Road comment.
Here comes the Billy.
I just want to know if Jim has seen your bottle yet, and have you made the Bourbon Lens guys jealous?
Jim has seen it.
Right.
Showed it. Jim thought it was cool. Mad respect right there. That's just I couldn't believe it. Stuff about that. So yeah. So that's what we got going on. I'm drinking a little whiskey. Some other people, tell us what you're thinking out there, what you're drinking, what's new, what's exciting, what are you looking for? Abby, what are you looking forward to happen this year once everything opens back up?
I think the big thing is just going back to distillery tours. The amount of stuff that you learn on a distillery tour is unmatched. As a person who's relatively new to bourbon, I think that's been just a fantastic way to learn about it because you'll get people who are very passionate about what they do and they want to explain everything that is involved in their job and answer every question you have. And those distillery tours are unmatched. Angel's Envy was just a fantastic tour, just from personal experience, but pretty much anyone you go to, you're going to have a great experience.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Avi. It's you think about the comment that Big Chief made earlier about even if you're not into Evan Williams, stop by and take a tour. Because I think one of the things that people don't realize is that maybe you tried an Evan Williams or you tried one of their products and maybe you didn't like it that much, but you go and you take these tours and you learn so much about these distilleries, about everything behind it, about the history, and you start tasting other things while you're there. That has the ability to change how you taste and what you think of certain bourbons. So those tours they're valuable in so many ways for people to be able to try, to get a different look and to retaste some things that maybe even in the past, maybe they didn't really enjoy. So, I'd agree with anything here is just stop by those distilleries and definitely do visits.
Yeah. Like you said, Heaven Hill family of brands, it encompasses so many. And a lot of people get that experience where they're, hey, I'm not a huge fan of Heaven Hill, but there's just so many that's involved in there, and a lot of people don't realize. And you go to a tour, you get to experience a lot of these things, you get to learn about it, and you gain a much deeper appreciation.
So just so everybody's clear, there are distilleries that are open for tours right now. Evan Williams is open Thursdays through Sundays. Very limited tours. They only do 6 people per tour, but I would tell you that those make it even better. So go out there and try that. Support those distilleries, especially those craft distilleries if you can. They super need your help. I would tell you that places like Leaper's Fork, they count on you coming into the shop and interacting with them. So even if you're invited down there, take them up on their offer. But the other thing is, if they bring you in for a private tour, buy some of their product. They need your help. Not all of them are rich. They're running on a shoestring, whether it looks like they are not.
Yeah,
it's not like you think it is. Even the big boys, they'll tell you this has hurt them. I think I read somewhere it's down 40% in revenue as they were down. That came out this last week. So whiskey sales are up, right? But think about. So there's our first deal. Matt King, I don't know if you know, Matt, because we put that up, we're going to charge you $1,000 for that.
I've already been sending out samples.
We made it, boys.
I've already been sending out samples of Matt's cask strength rye. Let me tell you, that'll blow people's minds. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, did you try the cask strength when you came over of Leaper's Fork?
I don't believe so, but I will definitely have to make my trip down to Leaper's Fork. Again, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just haven't been able to visit yet.
Now, Jordan, you got to taste it too.
Yeah, I did get to taste that, and I am going to try probably in the springtime, hopefully to get a group of roadies or just a group of anybody that wants to go down and do a little kind of a Tennessee whiskey tour. And Leaper's Fork is definitely on the list. So, Matt, we will definitely be seeing you soon.
Yeah, I think Leaper's Fork is, if you haven't been there, I know I preach about it all the time, but it's a stunning distillery. You'll be shocked when you get down there. A dog run cabin, if you don't know what a dog run cabin is, they took and restored it. And they were actually, all you guys ever seen Barnwood Builders?
Yeah.
This guy takes and destructs barns. He takes them apart. Old log cabins and stuff, and then he puts them back together and makes houses out of them and stuff. They were actually featured on one of his episodes. I'm not sure what episode it was, but you check that out and check out their tasting room. And then they took and built a post and beam distillery. It is just amazing. And supposedly they're putting up a badass rick house too. That will be part of that experience out there. If you go down there, make sure you tell Pops hi for me. Just give him a hug. Damn COVID.
The hugs are universal. Jordan, I know you're a Louisville person, so whenever you go down,
yes,
I'm happy to go. That's definitely a trip I've been looking forward to. So we'll definitely have to organize something in the near future.
Yep.
Maybe we could just rent a bus or a small van.
Let's do
a little roadie trip.
I'm all about that, Chief. I think some of the other things I'm excited about is just to see if anybody releases anything that's just brand new and different and whatnot. You see so much of the release calendar, right? And every year the release calendar, it starts to look a little bit about the same. Oh, there's a new batch of this and a new batch of that. I'm really waiting this year to see if we see something different from any of the distilleries, whether it's craft, whether it's some of the larger guys who have been around forever. I'm just waiting for something, I guess, a little bit different to hit the market that could be really interesting.
Well, here's the thing is, bourbon's not something that happens overnight. So if it's going to be released this summer, it probably had to have been planned out 4 years ago.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you this, I'm not big on big places, but Breaking Bourbon, if you're new to the whiskey, new to bourbon, and you're listening to our podcast, check out Breaking Bourbon. I use that site all the time. Jim would tell you, it gives me a good scope on price. And they have a good release calendar on there that's pretty spot on. So, yeah. Look at this. See, Jim? Look at Jim, man. Jim is all.
He is on top of it.
So, for people that didn't get on early, this is what I've just cracked open right there. This is Tennessee. This is a Tennessee weeded bourbon from Leaper's Fork Distillery, barrel number 76. It's even put damn Bourbon Road on there.
Big Chief, far be it for me to tell you, but I think that might be a Facebook profile right there. Is that picture?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I love it. Get a bus and I will gladly join. The funny thing about that is, so me and Jim had this discussion. Let me take a sip of this before I say all this, because
I want to hear how this is.
This has a super buttery nose. Sugar smack 'em cereal.
There it is.
And frog's jumping out of the glass.
There's that reference that you got to be there.
I know it will be outstanding once he has something that he's gotten from a hardware store. Whether it's popcorn or candy, I don't know what.
Honeycomb cereal. If you haven't had honeycomb, that's a delicious cereal too. It smells wonderful. I get that.
Yeah. If you haven't had honeycomb cereal, that's the first purchase right there. Is just go get some honeycomb cereal.
Yeah. Little bit of floral coming out of that, which I'd expect from a weeder. Beautiful nose on this. A lot of sweetness. Matt, I think you said this was 6 years old. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's taste this. I say cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
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 Right on the palate, it is. It's like a fireball candy. Fireball, meaning that jawbreaker that you would get.
Yeah, the Red Hots.
Yep.
You get down a Cracker Barrel.
It's got a lot of barrel spice to it. I think that's what I'm picking up. I like it, man. This is
what's the proof on that, Jim or Mike?
He did such a beautiful job of labeling this. He didn't tell me.
I think
you'll have to check the piece of wheat hanging out of your mouth. Maybe the proof is written on that.
It's the national treasure. You gotta really look into it and check everything, and it's on there somewhere.
No, I don't think he he'll tip it up. There's nothing on the bottom.
Oh
wow!
Even he doesn't know.
I tell you what I do have is I don't know if it'd work or not. I have what's that thing called that you test alcohol with? I don't know what it's called. There's it looks like a thermometer, giant thermometer you stick up a cow's ass or
something. We went straight to the farm.
It's humongous. It's like that long.
I'm a city kid. Like that's not something I ever knew about. So
if you hang out with Sarah long enough, you'll hear about that kind of stuff. She used to work on the farm. So
I tell you what,
I'm learning all kinds of things today. It's been great.
If you go to a farm and they hand you a large set of rubber gloves that would go all the way up to your elbow,
Betty.
Stay away from the farm animals.
You're about to get real busy. Yeah, hydrometer. That's it. Hydrometer. So I'm getting that fireball in there, but the second sip of this, buttery, creamy. Man, this is going to be some good stuff.
By the way, earlier Matt said that you could put your face on all the bottles if we came down and did a barrel pick.
So I guess we just have to do a barrel pick.
So there's your weeder.
So what he said is that barrel pick going to be free? You know, because barrel pick's like $10,000, people. $10,000. Pull the
Big Chief. You can't tell us it yet. You can't tell us to support these local distilleries and say it's free. I mean, we got to go get some.
We do have to go get some. A whole barrel, that's pricey. So what I was going to say before I drank all this, right? And somebody said, get a van and we'll do it. So people said, hey, do a pick. Rody said that. Do a pick and we'll buy it. I'll buy it all. That doesn't happen always. People said, make a t-shirt. I'll buy your t-shirt. Like 100-something people said that. So it's hard when people say, I'll do it. And you pull the trigger on it, and you're the one that's got to eat it, especially when it's coming out of your own pocket. So just remember that. If me and Jim say, hey, we want to do something, and we ask roadies, just be honest with you. If you don't want to do it, hey, we're good with that. But if you really want to do it, I'm game. I'm super. Jim will tell you I'm game for almost just anything. I think last night he's like, we drank enough of we drank Woodford Reserve through the Masters collection last night.
And how many bottles was that, Big Chief?
5 different bottles we drank through. So we started out with a pour of Rocktown out of Little Rock, Arkansas, as our first pour. And Ralph, you're right, pre-sales, man, and that's
the only way to do it.
The Bourbon Road T-shirt is going to be a pre-sale shirt. You'll buy it, and then once we get, we'll leave it up for like a month, and then we'll put our order in. That's how our Bourbon Road shirt's going to be. That way, we'll know exactly. So we're not sitting on a bunch of merchandise. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, you went into driving the bus.
Oh,
you were going to drive us all over Kentucky in 2 tour buses. And we're going to spend 2 days drinking and visiting the
bus ride.
I think what I'm hearing is that Big Chief is going to do the Bourbon Trail for us. He's the driver, so we can do the entire Bourbon Trail.
No, we're not going to do that. I'll be comic relief on the bus for you. And Jim will be on the other bus. Jim's bus will be real happy because Jim's got heavy pours. Last night we did drink through the Masters Keep collection, or Masters collection, I think is what it's called, from Woodford Reserve. 5 different bottles. But we started out with Rocktown Distillery out of Little Rock. We drank some of that. That was cast strength. And then we moved on to doing an interview, or not an interview, but just an episode with me and Jim talking about that. And the reason we did that was because I got the bottle of the very fine bourbon from them. It supposedly has some 17-year-old stuff in there. Bourbon bullshit bust. That's a
banner. That's a banner right there.
Right of the bus.
That's a banner right there.
Make them pay first. Hey, we will do that. It'll be a sign up and stuff. But the thing about that is you can't just say, hey, I'm going to do this big experience and pay first, because it takes a lot of cash up front to do that kind of thing, and a lot of planning to set up a 3-day event, which we want to have. Trust me and Jim talk about it all the time. Adam will tell you I've talked about it with him. We really do want to have something like that. So a short bus trip down to Leaper's Fork, maybe a day trip. Have a hired driver that doesn't drink and go down there. Yeah, we could probably do something like that. Limited folks, it costs a little bit, but we can make that happen.
It's absolutely worth it. Yeah, absolutely worth it.
And maybe we get some Tennessee folks that can't come to, or not from Kentucky, to meet us there and stuff. And maybe Leaper's Fork would be kind enough to have us as guests. Who knows? And in that drive down there, though, what you get with that is part of your price that you pay to go on that trip is you get a bottle of Leaper's Fork whiskey. That way the distillery feels like, hey, you don't come there, you don't buy nothing. you go to
Mhm.
Lieber's Fork and you're already going to get a bottle because you already paid for it.
Yeah.
So that's
Can't beat that.
part of the deal.
Yeah.
And that sounds
Plus-
like a good deal to me.
Plus, you get on the bus with the weeded king of Kentucky. I mean,
That's
that's that alone, price of admission.
I'm going to tell you this. You get me on a bus drinking and I don't have to drive somewhere.
Hey,
You're going to get
that's where it's at.
and I don't have nothing else to do. Like the next day, you're going to get a total. Jim will tell you that you get a total different Big Chief. Come on out and let's party. So that's what we drank through last night. We did that. Me and Jim felt really good by the end of that episode because we finished it with a batch proof. Sorry about that. We drank through that batch proof. I'm getting a whole bunch of emails all of a sudden. I gotta just ignore them. So we drank through that, and then we did a review. I don't know, maybe after Jim hears it, edits it, he might think we have to redo it. But that was Old Scout. I'm gonna let you on to something before this review comes out. We drank some Old Scout, and Old Scout 107. They're out of West Virginia, but me and Jim know where that Old Scout comes from. It don't come from West Virginia. It's from what we know.
Whoa.
You're going to have to listen for the interview with Evan Williams to figure out where that comes from. Little secret for everybody.
Can we get a number on that one for the podcast listeners?
It will be. I don't know, that'll be this next Monday. Old Scout. So,
But Evan Williams will be this Wednesday. Right?
No, Evan Williams is going to be like 3 weeks away.
Okay.
We're seriously trying to stack up some episodes. So much so, I'm going on Friday for another Bourbon Day down to Peerless in Louisville. So, if I can't find a guest to go with me, because Jim can't go with me. Jim has previous plans. You're gonna drive all the way up here.
Dude, has
Adam is
driving
ready to go.
ever stopped me coming up to your place? Really? I mean, has it ever? No.
Entirely to be fair, Adam is really not that far off.
Exactly. And besides the fact, has Big Chief ever driven to Chattanooga? No, he hasn't. But how many times have I driven to Louisville or Kentucky in general?
All right, I've been to Chattanooga
He's got a
several
point there.
times in my life. I'll tell you all about Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I've arrested people in Chattanooga before.
I think you've seen. Well, yeah.
I can't see that, Adam.
We got
funny.
another. We got
So I'm
another.
gonna tell you guys some sad news though. Vivian was gone for a couple of days. I'm working almost the whole time she was gone. Come here, Woodrow. But Woodrow, come here. Come on. Let's see if I can get you up here.
Because Vivian was down in
There's my
Texas,
buddy.
right?
Woodrow,
there he is.
Woodrow got a little sick. He had a little eye infection. So everybody say a prayer for old Woodrow. He also apparently got fat while Vivian was gone. He gained 8 pounds.
Holy.
How long was she gone?
And the next question is it's obvious that Vivian always feeds Woodrow.
Yeah,
She does.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
I think he gained 8 pounds over several months. But Woodrow, we got him some medication. He's going to be doing better. But I would tell you this: I went to sleep, and Vivian, I got up and I saw her car leaving, and then I went in there and I was like, we usually put Woodrow in our laundry room if I want to sleep and be left alone. But I couldn't see Woodrow, and I was like, man, she took him to the vet. So I tried to go back to sleep, and she. I had a dream that she put Woodrow down, and I woke up, I was sweating. I was like, where's he at? So I started texting her. I was like, is the dog all right? And I want to make sure. She's like, I would have called you, but if something happened. I just had this dream that she put my dog down. I was like, man.
I gotta say, Woodrow, I went to your house for the taping, and Woodrow did not bark once during that entire taping.
Yeah, he's just a good dog.
He knew.
He's a
He
great
knew.
dog.
He was like, "Hey, it's whiskey time."
Yeah, he's
All Woodrow wants is kind of like Big Chief. Just make my head bigger, pet me.
He's loving some life. You see him, look, he's trying to get more. Go on, fatty. So yeah, that's what happened. Woodrow went to the vet and he gained 8 pounds. Why? What you know about Aretha? What?
Aretha Frankenstein's. So apparently, the Chattanooga conversation kicked off a conversation about Aretha Frankenstein's, which is this teeny little restaurant right off of downtown Chattanooga in what they call the North Shore. And it's actually an old house that was converted into a restaurant. So the downstairs is this real small restaurant. They got a porch out front and everything else. But you have to get to Aretha Frankenstein's. Normally, you have to get there pretty darn early to ever get a seat. But they have the most incredible breakfast food you could ever imagine. They have their own pancake mix now that's available locally. So hopefully that answers Jerry Hamilton's question about Aretha Frankenstein's. It's fantastic.
So that sounds like if they have a pancake mix, they really need the bourbon syrup with it. That's what I'm hearing.
They do. They really do.
I got a couple places they can get it from. So I tell you this, that if what I heard from that whole thing, Adam, is that you're going to write an article of your top 3 things in Chattanooga.
I absolutely will. I will add that to a few reviews that I'm about to do on my own that aren't your guys, and add them to the website. So of course you're in Jim reviews are popping up on the Bourbon Road website, but I'm about to start adding some more there, and I'll be more than happy to write an article about top 3 kind of places to visit around the Chattanooga area.
Ralph, you said no table food for Woodrow. He didn't get any table food while my wife was gone. I stink bad enough by myself.
Hey, I got a question for Abby. Did you find any of that 13th colony after the last review that Jim and Big Chief did?
I did not. I checked Total Wine. I checked Party City Liquors. Nothing.
Well, maybe we'll figure out a way to get you something. The Roadies is an amazing group of people, people, and sometimes whiskey just shows up out of thin air. Who knows what happens?
That's my favorite miracle, right there.
Well, good Lord, it happens all the time at my house. I don't know. Sometimes stuff shows up.
It's called the front porch miracle.
Sometimes in pocket. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing. Going to Peerless. We're still told everybody last week going down to Log Steel. Probably go out to Limestone. Want to get to Maker's Mark. Want to get into Buffalo Trace. Want to do I got some new whiskeys that showed up. So a new whiskey we have is called Golden Zephyr. Guess what? It's a wheated bourbon.
As it should be.
Yeah, it's so we're gonna do a review on that. You'll see that. I'm gonna try once we get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. I'm gonna try to pull back a little bit and get back in a gym. I'm actually going to the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna get these big old guns bigger.
There you go. How close are we to 10K?
We are 9,400 people. My goal was try to get it done before March 1st. I just can't. It is a lot of work. And the Bourbon Lens guys, if you're still on here, they tell you it is a lot of work to get 10K without buying followers. That's something I've talked about. I'm committed to not doing that. Buying bots or whatever.
Yeah.
We're committed to having real whiskey fans, real people. So much so. Something funny happened today. I didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't see it because I'd have probably reeled that sucker in real fast with some trolling. Somebody joins the Bourbon Road and tries to sell a car on there today.
No, he didn't just try to sell a car. He tried to sell a 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x4, 180,000 miles.
Yeah, I don't know what to say even about that. I don't know.
I mean, if it comes with a couple bottles of Old Forester's birthday special, we'll make it work.
Right.
Was there a barrel in the trunk? And was it full?
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't try to say your crap on our site. I just be blunt about it. We're just some dudes like drink some whiskey, and that's what we're going to talk about. Dudes and gals, just like and drink some whiskey, talking about some whiskey. I said tonight I'm going to get tore up, so I'm going to pour another pour here.
What's everybody else drinking? I'm hitting the craft distillery kind of tour tonight. So after the Deceptivus, I've been I went into the Frey Ranch, which we all know that the Big Chief loves, and actually this bottle was from Big Chief, so I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And then I tooled down to Atlanta with some ASW Distillery Fiddler Georgia Heartwood. So
that's a Fiddler Diddler, or what?
Listen, that is a weeded barrel proof whiskey. So
I think we gotta all go Southern. I'm going Balcones, so let's all go Southern.
Yeah.
All right. So I just poured myself a little bit of cast strength single barrel from Old Forester. If you haven't had this, you can find a bottle. If you see a bottle out there, grab it. It's worth it. I don't know what the price is, what you're willing to spend, what your pockets are, but if you want to buy yourself a special bottle, go ahead. Blue Note single barrel pick. I don't know.
Straight out of Memphis.
Ooh, that's what you're drinking. Evan Williams, 12-year. Hey, Jeffrey, we actually drank some of that today, man. You don't want to listen to that episode. What's everybody else drinking? Scott Bouchier, he switched to Maker's Mark 101 limited edition.
Daniel Baker's 7 is great. Don't worry about people's collections, man. It's fantastic.
Trust me, I am newbie in the collection section, so you probably got a better collection than me. But it's all about appreciating what you have. That's all it is.
Yep.
I'm gonna show you. Let me show you what a whiskey bottle is supposed to look like. Okay. I'm gonna show everybody exactly what when you buy it. The distillers, they don't want to set it on the shelf and look pretty. They want it to look like this right here. That's
absolutely
that's what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to hear that pop.
There it
pop
is.
Goes
Best sound ever.
Ooh, that sound will get
you. Drew Allen is drinking Hancock's Reserve.
Hancock's Reserve.
And the Bourbon Lens has got themselves some ice water.
Everybody
needs a night off, guys. Everybody needs a night off.
Bourbon Lens. Which one of these guys is it? That's got to be Scott drinking ice water from the butt. He probably got ice water in his JTS Brown bottle bond. I don't believe him. I can't believe that. I was trying to figure out how to invite the Bourbon Lens on here. I'm not that smart.
Oh, Jerry. So that's Jerry Hamilton that's drinking the Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye. And that's been making its rounds and getting a lot of great reviews from folks. Unfortunately for me, when it popped up in Chattanooga, somebody went around and literally bought every single one of the bottles. So I haven't yet to try it, but I've heard absolutely great reviews and things about it.
You saw that Matt King and them, they were in town today. And their main goal was come up here and go to Castle and Key and check out their operations there. Lee Kennedy's going to spend a little bit of money down there, from what I understand, at Leaper's Fork. And, put a bottle on mine in, hopefully. So our friends, Monica Wolf and Ashley Barnes, helped them out with that. If you haven't been to their website, check them out. Great. Ashley's got a phenomenal palate. So, yeah. Everybody's drinking something different. We still got a bunch of people on with us. I'm surprised that's sticking around. The booze will come shortly.
I'm pretty sure they really just distill Old Weller Antique in Ohio. It's not done in Kentucky. They just started distilling it there, and they're filling your shelves.
Well, Texas is what I hear too is a great place to pick it up and stuff. But I don't know. I try to get my mom to pick me some up, and she keeps. I can't find it. I'm
fortunate enough to have an old neighbor from high school that still lives in Ohio when I was there. So every once in a while, the magical people make things appear on my porch.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, this is magical. I don't think this is going to last very long.
Tell us your thoughts on that Old Forester there, Chief.
Yeah, let's hear it, Big Chief.
That's mighty tasty. I will tell you, Jim, today we're eating dinner and we're talking about whiskey bars, and Jim got a new bar for his basement. He took out, they had like a dining room table down there and stuff and a hutch, and he's building a bar and kind of a studio for us to do some live stuff. Matt King said, I threw back the cast strength there, Chief. I did. Hey, when you can drink, you can drink. I'm not a little feller, so I don't have to work until tomorrow at 6, so I'll be good. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. So Jim bought a bar. He's making his bar down there and stuff. And so we did the review of the 13th Colony bourbon, right? That Southern bourbon whiskey. And Jim got almost a full bottle about a week ago. And that bottle's gone. So, yeah, we love our whiskey. Somebody said, hey, you guys don't drink whiskey. Yeah, we drink it.
You guys will find a way to drink the whiskey, even if it ends up in a mixer. It gets drank. Yeah. So
that's what it's there for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're setting up on your shelf. Open your damn bottles up. Now, I'm gonna push my old Leaper's Fort Wheated whiskey here away for a second, and I do have a bunch of open bottles because it's difficult. We're not the average guys. I've come to realize at first I was like, I'm just an average guy, but we do get a little bit of whiskey at our house. So I got the
just a little bit.
Yeah.
These things have been sitting on my desk for.
Look at that magical power.
But yeah, we got that to have a show with them and stuff. We still need to do it. See that right there? What Jim just put up, OTDB. What's everybody think that means? Take a guess, Adam.
I have no idea.
That's gonna be on the front of a shirt, and on the back it might say it, or just might say the Bourbon Road.
Open your damn bourbon. I said I forgot the T, but it sounds about right.
Open the damn bottle.
Yes.
There it is. That's awesome.
There it is.
That's awesome.
Man, you don't think me and Jim don't believe in that? We believe in it. We talk about that all the time.
I can say firsthand, I've seen nothing but open bottles at Big Chiefs, and it's not like it's, hey, don't touch this. It's, hey, let's open it. Let's try it.
Right.
There are a couple bottles that I've saved back. Maybe one day that my daughter has a kid. Anytime soon, I don't think. But if she has a kid and my daughter is into bourbon now, and my son's into bourbon, there's some bottles I'm going to save back for them. And, I might not be able to find again. And I think it's a special bottle that they'll enjoy. So, that's good to do. But 1 bottle, 2 bottles is cool. But, when I see these photos of, I got the whole Weller collection from top to bottom, left to right. I've got 12 of them stacked up.
Or the nice Weller collection. Now they're all open, and half of them are drank, and some of them are shared. And that's one of the things I think, especially Big Chief, is about the Bourbon Road, and everybody who kind of follows it is everybody's got a lot of open bottles, and they're all willing to share. Mm-hmm. Jordan, you've gone out and you've shared your bottles with people that you've gone to visit and had tasting nights. And Avi, you've been over to Big Chiefs and tasted things. And certainly Big Chief has shared a whole lot of bourbon with a lot of people.
Always.
Whether it was suddenly on a front porch or whether it was at his house. I think that's something great that's about the bourbon culture. So I think that shirt fits right, Big Chief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you need some you need to share your whiskey first. I think that be kind to your neighbor thing goes a long ways. Drew, I talked about this last week. So Drew's whole neighborhood, he lives down in Memphis. Snowed in. Probably nobody has snow shovels down there. They probably all have little garden shovels and stuff. It's all right.
No
they're not prepared for snow in the South. It's just
have you ever seen a snow plow in Tennessee? Well, maybe you have in some places.
In some places.
In Chattanooga, I saw the snowplow once, and you heard me say the snowplow.
Here,
there's one.
I'm going to equate it to this, right? In the summertime in Chicago, right, or in the north, people die from the heat in a heat wave.
Yeah,
they die from it. You don't see nobody in Texas dying from no damn heat wave. They're just get outside and be like, I'm gonna get a deep tan. Turn purple today. But you don't see
Shovel for the win.
Drew, that's Drew. Drew says you're not wrong. Spade shovel for the win.
So, Bourbon Lens, hey guys, thanks. Roadies, Bourbon Road fans, listeners out there, if you're not listening to Bourbon Lens, check them out. Subscribe to their podcast. Three great guys, very respected in the bourbon community, great palates and stuff. They're not going to steer you wrong on some bourbon stuff. Check them out. They need our help just like we need their help. It's vice versa. But yeah, you don't see people in Texas dying from a heat wave, but you see people in Chicago. I watch Turn News on time all the time. They're like 20 people died today. I'm like, hey, Big Chief, how about the blind bottle challenge in Tennessee? Yes, called me out. Well, a winter storm hit.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
I was supposed to actually go to Oklahoma that weekend, and we talked about it. And I still think we're going to do a blind bottle challenge down there. I just got to figure it out and do the logistics. Maybe we'll do it down there at Leaper's Fork with a couple people. Maybe you can get some music artists on there. Maybe old Chris Stapleton.
I'll bring the bottles.
So yeah, that's what we got going on. It's been a hell of a day. I had this tonight too. I told Jim. Well, Hannah was like, let's go to this bar. And I was like, no, Jim's got to go home. And Jim needs to edit the podcast. And I need to go home and take my wife some dinner and to make sure that to do that. What did he say? Matt King said BS. No, come on now, Matt. Come on.
Oh.
Matt said he was supposed to come up here one weekend, but it snowed a little bit. And I heard he can't drive a stick shift.
Ouch. Oh.
Or was that BS meaning barrel strength? Who knows? Seriously, we'll try to do another barrel bottle challenge, whether it's down in Tennessee or if it's up here at the Jeff Ben Farm or over at the Shannon Farm. We're going to try to do another one. I think they're a great time, good fun. We always put out plenty of whiskey. I'd love to do one down there in Tennessee to get some of our listeners and stuff. Barrel strength. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be good. Let's everybody raise your glass up and take a big old swig of this. I gotta ask after we take a swig of this. I got something to ask everybody.
Oh boy.
I got to stay up till like 4 a.m, by the way.
That's because you have to work some weird schedule.
Yeah. So there's an after party. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know about no after party. After party, me and Woodrow taking trash cans down the street, and I got to take a bourbon photo, and I still owe Jim a blog, which will probably be late. So Jim, the blog will get to you after I look back through it because I want to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And then yeah, still got to take a photo too. Shit. So you look for that stuff on our website. Tomorrow's episode is with we had Good Times. Our friends over there at Good Times sent us a bunch of cool ass bottles, some chocolate and some honey, and they actually sent us a brandy too. I think an apple brandy.
I'd like some chocolate brandy.
This
brandy
is
chocolate.
Bourbon
That'd be great.
Jim's frowning. I don't know what that's for, Jim.
I think he wasn't able to partake, and that's why.
Oh, Jim partaked in that Good Times in that $1 million question time. Oh, so here's my question for everybody. Todd, do you have to go to bed? Is it your bedtime? Oh.
He just wants to know the answer.
Late blog.
Oh, late blog. I've been late in a while, Jim. Come on now. Come on.
Big Chief, I know at the beginning of this we were promised all some bourbon samples, so we should probably get some questions in.
Well, let me ask this one question. Let me ask this everybody real fast. $1 million question time is coming up. So there's a bourbon group out there that I've been watching. I watch them really closely. I'm in their group, but I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing in that group. because you don't want to say nothing bad because they get on you. That they call people out telling you they'll beat people up. And I'm like, I don't want to get beat up. Yeah, because you get right there. Has anybody seen the Bourbon Group? If you're in it, LFG.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
No, I'm not part of this.
I
don't
did
think I'm
not
part of it,
accept
yeah.
the invite in there after I had a chance to peruse it. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, these guys are just throwing
I
money.
don't think it's really a bourbon group. I think it's a casino gambling group.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Todd Bourbon are no. This LFG takes it to a whole different level. They don't have whiskey glasses. I don't think. Not that I could see. They're chugging bourbon all the time.
Right out the bottle?
Right out of the bottle.
I'm not even sure how often that's happening on there, to be honest with you. Like I said, I watched that thing forever and I was like, where's the damn bourbon?
They had a lady that slept on there on a live for 3.5 hours one night. It was quite funny. Yeah. I just want to know if anybody's seen that group or nothing. So let's get to this. All right, I'll give away some whiskey. Give away some bourbon. So Matt, I'm gonna go ahead and give Matt King. I'm gonna give some of this away right here to somebody. You want to be the second person in the world to try this? I'd like to try to like shake it and figure it out what else, because I can't do that.
I'm just gonna say it right now, Matt King. You need to hide one more of those away somewhere that we can
at
store,
least one.
That
At
5
least
years
one.
from now we can bust out for Big Chief as a surprise.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'll give a sample of that away, and I'll go ahead and give a sample of this away. I'm gonna give 3 samples away, all in one little package. Everything I drank tonight, and I'm gonna send probably what's left in this bottle right here to you in a sample. So
there you go.
It's probably around 105. I think 110 or 120. It had a little bit of Tennessee hug there. It like wrapped its arm around me, crushed me.
You need to gauge the proof based on Big Chief's eyes, and they're looking pretty good right now.
Let me peruse this one more time. So I'm gonna give those 3 samples away. Here's what I want to know, or here's what I want. The first person that hasn't left a review, and I got to do this. You got to leave a review, three reviews, and you got to follow us. Leave a recommendation on Facebook. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. I'll try to tell you how. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you don't have that, leave a one on Spotify. Send me a private message or post it in Roadies. Post all 3 things and leave us a follow on Instagram if you're not already following us. And I'll send those 3 samples to you. I think and if you haven't had one of my samples or not, I don't use those little bitty 2-ounce pour bottles anymore. I was like, man, who drinks that? I mean,
that's an okay pour.
This is what I do right here.
Oh man,
I like
that's
the
the
big
pour you want though.
4 to 8 ounces. These are 4, so these are great.
And for Jim, I actually have some 8-ounce bottles that if we have to share bottles, I like to give him ample sample. Is that right? Ample sample.
Yeah,
Ample
it sounds
sample.
Great. It
Ample
sounds
sample.
great. That's all that matters.
Plenty of sample.
Yeah. Let me know who wins Big Chief, and I'll send a Leaper's Fork hat as well. See, that's kick ass. These distilleries like Leaper's Fork will throw something in there like that. I love it. You know, if you haven't met Forrest Gump, he is salt of the earth and stuff. I give him shit all the time, but I love him like a baby brother. They've been nothing great to us. So
yeah, whoever wins,
said he's new to the group and excited to be there. Jerry Hamilton.
Who is that? Jerry Hamilton?
Jerry Hamilton, yep.
Well, whoever
Welcome to the group,
whoever gives those
whoever
reviews,
whoever wins, I'm happy to throw in some Balcones, some Leadslingers. We'll throw it all together.
If you're new, the review opportunities are great for you because some of the roadies who have been around for the last year or so, they've already jumped in there.
those reviews, there's a reason we want them and stuff. Not only does it help us out, it helps us. If you really listening to the podcast and you like what you hear, we say that for a reason. We need those. Those help us get into doors because those distilleries are reading those and saying, "Wow, man, these two jokers, they actually know what they're talking about." We try to know what we're talking about. We do research. I research my ass off on stuff. So yeah. Hell, I might even send them some extra stuff. I showed Jim a sample bottle box the other day, and there might be 30 samples in there that some of them I don't know where they're from. They're just nothing on them. So make sure you try to label your stuff too if you send it out.
I'm happy to throw in some Leadslingers, some Breckenridge, whatever I have. I'm happy to throw in together.
So Big Chief, list them out again. What are you looking for?
So we want a Apple podcast or a Spotify review or a Google review. I've tried to figure out how to look at Google reviews. I still can't figure it out. They got that stuff locked down. Leave us a recommendation on our main Facebook page. What you do is you go in there, you look at it, and you will see where you can leave a review. It says reviews, but when you go in there, it says recommendation because they took reviews away. So leave a review in there, more than one sentence, please. And then follow us both at our personal accounts. Jim is J Shannon 63, and I'm One Big Chief. Follow us and follow the Bourbon Road, and tell your friends about us. Tell your fellow whiskey people about us. You can also go in there into community, and in the community on Facebook, you can hit invite friends to like our main Facebook page. Not invite your whole group to. That's happened several times, and we'll get like a couple hundred requests. Go in there to community on our main Facebook page, hit community, and you can invite your entire friends list, and they can decide whether they want to like the Bourbon Road or not. We're right around 5,400, I think, likes on Facebook. I'd like to see us somewhere in that 10,000 range of people that really want to like us. They want to listen to podcasts. And listen to our podcast. Try not to skip episodes. You get behind, and then you're like, I got to catch up. If you just listen to it every week, then you're good to go. Right?
So what you're saying is that for anybody who wants to win these, do a whole lot of things.
Yeah. It's not a whole lot of things. Just listen. I was at the live taping, and I think the first 3 or 4 questions were just based on episodes that had previously aired.
Yeah, we gave
that's
away.
All there was to it.
Somebody who said that. Somebody sending samples is the best part. I'm on my 3rd or 4th 80 count box. Good Lord, 80 count box.
That's Jerry Hamilton.
Damn,
the new guy. We've brought the right people to the roadies.
That's right. That is definitely right.
We love to share our whiskey. So
good Lord,
thanks, Jerry. That's awesome.
Somebody said howdy fellows. Who is that right there?
That's Shane. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Lemur.
Oh, Shane, what's up, bud?
All right, so Shane. You pronounce his last name right for me?
Yeah, it's Lemur.
All right.
Yep.
So I'll tell you what. I did ask a lot, right, Adam? I ask a lot of everybody there.
No, it's not a lot.
That's the thing. I'll throw in one more whiskey just for shits and giggles.
There you go.
I'll tell you what. If you're into single malt whiskey, there's a little place down in Texas, in Waco, Texas. They have the world's tallest pot stills. They're humongous. I'm going to send you the special bottle right here that Balcony sent me. I'm going to send you a sample of this Lineage single malt whiskey. You can't go wrong with this. It was produced last July. I had it sitting here. I drank on a little bit. It's pretty damn good. So I'll send you a sample of that too. So you get 4 samples in there.
Here. I'll tell you what, Big Chief.
I can tell you, I like Balcones. I've never seen Lineage. That's how special it is.
I'll tell you what, Big Chief. I'll throw in the little side extra because I've shared with you. So I'll fill up a sample of Weller CYBB.
Holy crap!
Ooh, y'all better get on this.
So speaking of that, you post that picture tonight, and I'm driving down the road trying to pick Jim up. Jim doesn't know it. But across my phone, boom! All I see is Weller CYPB, And I'm like, what the hell's that email? I almost had to pull over on the side of the road so I could check the emails. I'm like, Jim just get me a bottle of that or something? No, he didn't get me a bottle of it.
Yeah.
Hey, I cried a little bit. But here's the thing. And me and Jim both agreed it, have tasted that before. And Adam brought up a bottle on his episode, and we cracked it open and we tasted it. And I'll tell you what, whoever's saying that's not good whiskey, they're wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't tried whiskey. That's all it is.
Well, the thing is it's great, and it's MSRP, maybe a little bit more. It's a fantastic weeded whiskey. It fits within the line. It's just that, again, a lot of people overpay for it, and it's tough to find, right? So,
yeah.
The American World Whiskey Awards came out today, and Weller was named. Weller CYPB was awarded Best Kentucky Bourbon. I'll tell you that again, just in case you didn't hear that shit right there. W.L. Weller CYPB was awarded Best Kentucky Bourbon by the American World Whiskey Awards. Buffalo Trace sent us that. They were very excited about that. Somebody else had posted that today. That's pretty high praise right there.
See, I'm even more happy to have opened that bottle.
There you go.
So I have tasted the best Kentucky bourbon before.
Big Chief, I think there should be the emphasis on the best, not anything else, but the best.
The best.
Yeah.
So people that knock on it and stuff, knock on it all day long. That's what you got to do. When I say I like it, hey, I'll do it. I'm more of a rye person, but I love CYPB. When I had a chance to try it, hey, I say that all the time. People will be like, "Oh, I don't like weed bourbon. I don't like it." I guarantee you, if I set some pappies in front of your ass,
you're gonna like some bourbon.
you really got to trust the weeded king of Kentucky.
People will be like, "Oh, you think I get a little sample of that weeded bourbon right there?"
It's all right. You don't like weeded bourbon. What you said.
Old Up got some Forbes love. I saw whiskeys to try in 2021. They did. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're not drinking some weeded bourbon, you say you don't like it, probably check it out. I think people just go wrong on it. They don't like it enough. I don't know. So I think we're getting close to our time. I don't know even how long we can be on here. I know there is a time limit. I think
I've seen some of those channels go for ages.
Well, hell, if you
2
guys are
hours
good
or
with
more,
just,
so.
I don't know if you guys got to work tomorrow or not, but I'll stay on here a little bit longer.
We're good. I'm good. At least.
I'm having a good time. Is everybody having a good time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We've dropped
And
a couple.
I want to reiterate back to the reviews and everything. Whether you get the one spot or not, it definitely pays to play. From somebody who's been treated very right from Big Chief himself, Jim, and multiple other roadies. If we see that you're making an effort to help the group and just make it like we're gonna, in one way or another, we're gonna make it right with you. So don't think that just because one person gets what's been advertised that it might not pay off just to kind of participate in that. So definitely put in the little bit of effort of what's being asked, and you'll be treated right.
Yeah. Now, everybody, I tell you that if you want to send Jim something, send him a box.
Get Jim, get the Billy Goat some rye, because he's going to sit in that field all day with some rye.
No, don't call him. Don't call him.
I know.
Let's not do that. He might post something bad here in a minute. He's got to control.
That's all right. He'll shut us down.
Yeah,
So here's what I gotta say about sharing, and I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, and well, they don't. There is a private little chat group. I call it Trusted Roadies, that I text every once in a while. And I did get on them the other day. I said, "Hey, we have to share bourbon with more people than just this little chat group. So make sure you're sending it to new people that you see engaged in the group and stuff, a new user. Let them feel loved, because they're going to go to those other websites, right? Those other Facebook groups, and say, hey, why don't you slide over this group? Because these guys right here got it going on. They treat people with respect. They don't bring anything else into the room except for whiskey. We don't sell cars in our group or nothing. We're just talking about whiskey, drinking whiskey, having fun, loving life to the fullest.
Yeah, I mean, I can say my first actual event was Big Chief's house. I don't know how many people can say that, but that was an experience.
It was a fun
All
night.
right, I'll tell you what. You come down and you do a Worlds event somewhere, and I'll host in the middle of the night bourbon event just for your OCR race. You may not make it the rest of the race, but you're covered.
So, what I just heard Adam say was just he's going to host everybody at his house and come on down. I didn't hear him say
I'll tell you what
I heard.
Y'all give me about till middle of June.
Middle of June.
Yes. Yeah, and then maybe we'll actually have all of our furniture here, and the bourbon room will be done. Maybe, I don't know.
So Matt King said he still hasn't met Jim yet because Matt thinks Jim is like Zeke Baker from Dad's Drinking Bourbon.
So he doesn't really exist.
Jim exists. I tell you what, Adam Booth Bay, you host. I'll cook. I don't know, Scott. You don't want Scott cooking your food. Scott is a damage controlman. That's what he did in the Coast Guard, and I don't know how to put this politely.
So here we go. Maybe we should invite the distiller from 13th Colony down in Georgia, 13th Colony Distillery, because he was a chef in the United States Coast Guard, right? That hits home for you guys.
Yeah,
Scott can sit back. That guy will cook, and then I'll supply the bourbon.
Scott's a damage controlman, and they Scott, how do I say this politely? Let me think about this a minute.
Scott is a good guy. So.
Scott makes sure the doo-doo flows good on boats. Yeah, don't you dare bite. So DC is the short term for it, but most coasties call them doo-doo checkers is what they call them. Come on now, Adam. But
I'm all about it, Scott. You come down here, I guarantee you Big Chief will follow.
Scott's a good guy. Scott is a good cat. So the other thing, somebody else said on there, I saw Rob Carter pop up there. Did you see everybody see Rob pop up? Rob's in here.
I saw him pop in there. Oh, funny man.
The funny man. We gotta have to have him on again. We're gonna have to have some events. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited for the Bourbon Trail to open back up and people traveling to Kentucky. We actually talked about that today a little bit. I think people are just jonesing at it, and that's why we put those articles out, was to try to highlight that stuff. The places.
I think too, Big Chief, is people need to watch the Kentucky Bourbon Trail site, and there is periodically a list of which distilleries are open. Not only which are open, but which also have samples and their bars open and things like that. So I think before people need to head out, they need to be able to check that. I'd imagine that would stay up to date fairly frequently, if not weekly, for people to check out.
Yeah, they are trying to update it all the time. Make sure you do before you come to visit. Make sure you make your reservations early. Make sure you check out and have everything planned out. And make sure you're very flexible because things can change at the last minute. Mm-hmm. Do we think that the COVID thing is going to end soon? Good Lord, do we hope so. Caitlin Tingle, Jordan, here's doo-doo. What?
Doo-doo checkers and returns to his seat.
Returns to his seat the question. That's all right.
I don't even know what that means, and I'm laughing.
That's my buddy Shane's girlfriend. I'm not entirely sure what she's talking about.
I don't even know.
I'm not sure on that one. Sorry.
How do you even come back from that?
You don't. I don't know if you come back from it or not. So
you don't.
Oh man.
Well, that's what we got going on the Bourbon Road. Make sure you hit these shirts up. Make sure you get fire glasses and stuff. Drink your bourbon. Open those bottles up. Share it with your fellow roadies. Help us build this community. Invite other whiskey drinkers. If you see, somebody's in a different group, and you think that group's not that great, bring them on over to the roadies. Make sure they answer those 3 questions. Make sure they are who they are, and we'll be good to go. I'll get them in a group. Let's build this thing up to let's say 2021 will be somewhere right around I don't know how many people we're going to try to get up to. The goal is just to build a group. So Matt King's got to sign off. I know some private stuff about Matt. I'm not going to go ahead and go into that. Matt, you have a good time, buddy. You should have bought those chocolates, like I told you to. They help out with those issues. So love you, Matt.
That's throw the chocolates and then you run the other direction.
Yeah. And now I've got questions.
That's after Matt bowed to the king of weeded whiskey. That's
Matt checked out. I don't want to air his Matt just got a lot going on in his life right now. That's all I gotta say. He's got business. He got business grown man business to take care of. So yeah. Me and my wife watched this TV show today before I came on night, and
he said, "Dang man,
dang man, you got grown man, you got grown man business." I'm gonna get a private text from him in a minute, and you never get no whiskey again. No, what happens when I drink whiskey, man? In a live show too, and my face is turning beet red like a big Indian. So here's the thing. That's right. Grown man business. You're going to text me or grown man business? So or am I, man, I got to get some more whiskey from you.
I think you got your own damn label. Really? You can't ask for more.
It's already the label. It's the weeded king of Kentucky that you can't.
What I'm hoping is we'll be able to, one day we'll be able to sit down with Matt's kids and drink some whiskey with them. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's another thing. None of you guys have older kids, right? Abby, you got any kids, man?
None that I know of.
That's all right. Abby, Big Chief thinks I have 6 kids. I only have 4. So he's on a podcast. He's on one of the episodes one day. He's like, say, everything for Adam down in Chattanooga because he's got COVID in the house with him and his 6 kids. And I'm like, when did I get 2 more?
Now, here's the thing. You got 4 kids, and I'll guarantee you, every once in a while, those kids probably 2 of them bring extra kid home with them.
Oh, yeah. That'll be this next weekend.
They drink your damn milk, and they eat your damn cereal and stuff. I remember when my son was in high school. I was buddy's home, and I'm like, all getting off work, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna go home. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have myself a little mac and cheese my wife made last night.
I'll
get home. It's all gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. Me tell you, I hear the term "dad's drinking bourbon." I'm like, you dudes have no idea. No idea.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's been good. 35. Ralph's got a 35-year-old boy. Wait a minute. He's got 35-year-old boy, 35 boy, 34 girl, 33. That math's not adding up right, Ralph.
Unless there were some triplets there. That makes sense then.
Twins, maybe, yeah. I can see that.
At least twins.
Dog dad over here, no kids means more money for bourbon.
Todd's got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I feel more sorry for him. At least all of ours are in the teens. So
I'd say that about kids is they always bring extra kids over and stuff. They're eating your damn food. And, I had a mom knock on our door one day. She's like, "Is this your beer?" I was like, "I don't know. It's my beer." And she was like, "It came from, I'm trying to think of the place we stopped. Watkins Glen, New York." And me and my wife had just traveled. We just traveled through there, and we're stationed in Booth Bay Harbor, Maine at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, that's our beer." And down in our mud room in our bar, our son had been taking beer and liquor from our stuff, and I don't know if he was refilling it or what, but I guess I should have been marking it because he was taking some good booze. But he took it all over to a campfire one night and decided he was going to have a little party, and the mom caught him, and God dang it, why do you have to take they could have took anybody else's beer. But I'm going to finish that up. I'll tell you how I took care of this issue, right? And some people out there might not like this, how my parenting skills are, but I say if you're going to drink with a grown man, drink with a grown man. So I made him sit down. I said, let's have some beers together. Let's have some tequila together. You drink with me, drink shot for shot with me. And I want to teach you that you need to respect what you're drinking. And it took me a long time to be able to afford a bottle of Patron, right? You know, I don't know if you guys, all three of you, were drinking Patron at an early age.
No,
sir.
I had the plastic bottles.
Yeah,
I remember the plastic 3 liters. It's been a while, but I remember it. Although I will have to say, going back to the shirts, it sounds like you keep your bottles open.
Yeah. But now I share bourbon with my son and share it with my daughter. Both of them got a store pick. I don't think my son or our barrel pick. I don't think my son has opened his yet or not. I'm not positive. But I talked to my daughter. My daughter said this. She's like, Dad, she's like, it burned deep down. She's like, it had, I said, it's called a Kentucky hug. And she was like, no, it's like lava. So I thought it was kind of cute that she had said that and stuff, but she's still young. She's 23. She'll get it done. Her and her boyfriend were drinking it and stuff. I said, don't mix that stuff. Just don't do it. I'll send you some mixing whiskey if you need it. Yeah, I'm sure everybody. Adam, are you prepared for all this?
I'm always prepared.
I'm always prepared. Are you crying over there or something?
No, dude. I'm always prepared.
You mean you got how many? 6 kids, right?
4, Chief. And a better half who's telling me I'm being too loud. So
Sorry.
I need to quiet down.
I got a text from Matt. I'm not going to tell you what everybody said, but he said it's great seeing you today. I tell you what, I've met a lot of bourbon people in being part of Bourbon Road, and I got to say thanks to Jim for even asking me to be on part of the Bourbon Road. But I have met from the bottom worker to the top of the food chain at a no crying in bourbon. I'm not going to cry. Oh, he's talking about Adam. But I've met everybody, and everybody's been so nice. But I'll tell you this, Matt King is salt of the earth, a great guy, and you won't find better out there, I don't think. Truly cares about Leaper's Fork and what they're doing down there. I get texts from him all the time, and that's why I think so much of them. People like that, like Adam, Jordan, Abby. I asked Abby last minute tonight, hey, you want to come on? I asked Jordan last minute because I just had my day was filled up so much. And I was on Jim about, hey, Jim, you got to get this post up about this live. Get this post up. I was on Jim's ass about it. Jim popped it up, and I was like, well, I'll put the link in there today. Well, that didn't happen. I'll put it in there today. Well, that didn't happen. And today I was like, I was racing down I-64 trying to drop Jim off and get home. And I told my wife, I ran downstairs. I was like, I got to send a couple of these links out for people. And I had this idea of who I wanted to invite on. And Abby, you were right there on top of this, and Jordan was too, because I want to try to have different people every week, different roadies. And I actually got some other people. Some people couldn't do it. I wanted to have about 6 people on. So, that's just kind of how it went, my day and stuff. But man, what a great group we got here, right? That's what it's about. The great whiskey we're sharing with each other. And I got to say cheers to everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get a cheers. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Thanks to you, Mike. Cheers.
So we'll go ahead and finish up tonight. Adam, Abby, Jordan. Adam, where can we find you on social media?
AD Boothby.
So that's on Instagram. What about you, Abby?
I'll post on the Bourbon Road group, but yeah, that's about it. Not on there too often.
Yeah. Any other way you have to text them and say, "Hey, dude, check your messages."
It's really true. I did not check until Adam texted me. I was like, oh, I should probably check that.
Jeffrey Lusk, if you're up in Alaska, I don't know if you know Dan Payne or not. Dan's a good friend of mine. Scott Boucher will tell you that. Find old Big Dan Payne, buy some of his pottery, and tell him I said hi from him. Share some bourbon with him. I don't know, maybe you already know him and stuff. Jordan, where can we find you on social media?
Just Jordan Riley on Facebook, and then on Instagram I am PBSipper89.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Big Chief.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
A great day. So, on social media, you can find us at The Bourbon Road on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Check us out on all those platforms and stuff. You can also find us at our website, thebourbonroad.com. Go on there, look at our shop. We got on there our articles, our reviews. Beautiful photo of Big Chiefs on there, and Jim.
That's model pose right there.
You can read about us on there. We both have a bio on there, tell you a little bit about ourselves. You can find our episodes on there. We also have the Bourbon Roadies. So if you're out there in YouTube land, make sure you check that out. If you're not a Facebook person, some people aren't. We get it. But our group is different. Our group is totally different than anybody else, I believe. So check that out. If you haven't left a review yet, scroll on down when you're doing our podcast. Leave a review for us. It helps us out. I'll review my ass off in the morning. Appreciate y'all making me feel like family. Hey, we appreciate you. So give us a review. Make sure you scroll on up to the top there, top bar. Hit subscribe on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to it. Hit subscribe. Your phone will tell you, hey, the Bourbon Road just released one of the damn episodes. You hear Big Chief talking about cereal. But you subscribe to that. Helps us out. Subscribers. There's a thing called Chartable. It's looking at all those numbers and algorithms and stuff. I don't understand all that stuff, but it does help us out. Do those things right there. If you want to hear something, go ahead and go in there and send us an email, send us a private message. It doesn't matter to me how you get it to us. You can go to our website, hit comments on there, and it'll send us an email and stuff. Plenty of people have emailed us and stuff, real different questions or different episode ideas. And I'll tell Jim, say, hey, let's do this, man. Jim's like, let's knock it out. Let's try to do this. If we think it's a great idea, if the good idea fairy came out while you're drinking bourbon,
as it tends to.
I got a bunch of ideas floating around in my head right now. I better write this stuff down somewhere.
Or go to sleep.
I can't go to sleep, not till 4:00. So send us those questions, send us those ideas. We love it. Make sure you help us buy our swag, keep us off Patreon. I'm not saying we're not going to do that. I think in the future, to get your post up there, to get your comment up there, we'll probably charge a little bit for that. A lot of people are doing that these days. It helps with our revenue stream. It helps me pay for gas when I go to Louisville for those interviews or down to Tennessee. It might even help us rent a van. Hell, we might even take Woodrow on the road with us. Who knows?
There you go.
He'd probably love that stuff. Nobody'd love all this dog hair he leaves on you. So that's what I got for tonight. I appreciate everybody getting on here with us tonight, spending the evenings with us. We're almost been on here for 2 hours. We had a lot of people listening. The poor decision making fairy always kicks the good idea fairy's ass when I drink. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Let me tell one story before we get off here. So it's New Year's Eve 2004 or 2003 New Year's Eve. And I had a buddy, he lives in a double wide trailer house up in outside of Sheboygan, Michigan. And I decided I take myself a case of beer over there and a bottle of, I think it was like cherry Jack Daniels that they sold back then. Old Big Chief just about tore that damn trailer house apart. I went through one wall and they're trying to hide the whiskey for me. So I'm wanting to find the whiskey. I was like, where's my damn whiskey at? I done drink beer, my beer, other people's beer. I woke up in the morning. First I was part naked in the bathroom, and my two buddies are trying to help me do some stuff, and we've all had those bad ideas, fairies. Kick those good ideas fairies' ass. The next morning, I woke up with a spaghetti pot underneath my head, and it had some stuff in there.
I'm pretty sure your bad fairy is far surpassed any of the rest of us.
So let's fast forward. My buddy retired from the U.S. Coast Guard back in 2017, and so that's what is that? 13 years, 12 years. So, no, I'm talking how many years that passed since that episode at the Double Wide Trailer House. And we went over to their house, and what did I see sitting there was that spaghetti pot. She's still using that thing with me. I was thanking God that we didn't have spaghetti that night. So that's that bad idea fairy is.
I'm pretty sure at this point Jim has left the conversation. He is no longer controlling.
I thought everybody, hey, we're all live. We're having a good time. That bad idea fairy back in my I think I was just 30 years old then. It happens. Bad ideas happen sometimes. We learn from those mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. You know, make sure when Big Chief comes to your house, hide your spaghetti pots. That's what I learned. Yeah. So I hope everybody's had a good night tonight. Look at those episodes. Look for stuff coming out. Make sure you leave that review. That first person that gets to me, I'm going to send you some whiskey. I'm going to actually be sending some samples and stuff out tomorrow. Some maple syrup from our good friends over at Lincoln County Reserve that make the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. And everybody knows what I like to say. Hey, this is Big Chief, and I'll see you on down the Bourbon Road.